In today's video, we're going to see if an axle back exhaust adds horsepower. Hey, this is Chris, this is Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and be sure to check us out at KiesMotorsports.com.
In today's video, we have Chris's F30 340i on the dyno, and we're going to get some base numbers, but to make sure that it was accurate, we removed his AWE axle back exhaust and reinstalled the OEM one.
Now that we got a dyno, we wanted to actually revert back to stock to get some base numbers before we start doing some additions to my car.
Now, one of the things that we were really curious in is if you saw a couple videos ago, we had a G20 M340i on and we did an AWE exhaust, and it proved some really good horsepower gains, but the thing with that one was it was a full catback exhaust, where this is just a muffler. So, is just adding a muffler going to add horsepower? Well, today we're gonna find out.
Okay, so let's get started. Brian's actually in the car. He's getting ready to do 3 base runs on the dyno. We're gonna average them together, get our horsepower and torque to the wheels. Now, we do have my vehicle completely stock. The only thing we have on there is the FTP upgraded charge pipe, but that's not giving us any horsepower or torque. Let's get started with run number 1. So with our first run done, as you can see, we got 265 horsepower and over here 291 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. So with run 1, we got some pretty decent numbers. I'm pretty happy with it. We're definitely gonna have to put a tune on this thing soon. But for now, let's go for run number 2. So with run number 2 numbers, as you can see, our horsepower jumped up about 9 horsepower to the wheels. We're at 274.43. Our torque did go down a little bit. We're at 287.6 foot-pounds of torque. So this is why we do an average of 3 runs, so we can really get some accurate results. Now, I'm definitely happy with the second run results, but let's go for number 3. With run number 3 done, we got our results here. We're looking at 270.45 for horsepower to the wheels, 289.25 foot-pound of torque to the wheels, and as you can tell, it's been pretty consistent. So when we average these numbers together, we got 269 horsepower to the wheels and 289 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. So we're gonna throw on the AWE axle back exhaust and see if it actually adds any horsepower. So we reinstalled the AWE axle back exhaust. We know it sounds good, but let's see if it gives us any horsepower. So we're finished run number 1 with the AWE Axleback exhaust, and we've got 274.66 horsepower to the wheels and 296.68 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty good numbers right there. Let's get rolling with run number 2. So now that we finished run number 2, we got some pretty good numbers. We got 276 for horsepower, and then we got 289 for foot-pounds of torque. We did lose a little bit of torque on that one. Let's see what we get on our 3rd run, and we'll average them all together. So we finished our 3 runs with the AWE Axleback exhaust, and we've got some pretty good numbers. We got 277 horsepower and 290 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's an increase of 8 horsepower and 1 foot-pound of torque.
So after seeing an 8 horsepower average gain, I think that's pretty good for literally just swapping out the muffler. Now, if you're new to our dyno series, what we typically try to do is we try to do 3 base runs, and then what we do is we get an average of what we ran, and then we do a modification, and then we get 3 more runs, and then we average them. So what we found is a lot of different companies, we're not mentioning names or anything, but they'll take the lowest of the first 3 and then the highest, and they'll show you the peak gain. But we don't really feel like that's an accurate representation. So what we're doing is we're bringing you the averages, so it's pretty solid, and honestly, our numbers are probably going to be a lot lower than what some companies are claiming, but it's going to be the most accurate representation consistently.
Once again, this is Chris, you know Brian. Thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and be sure to check us out, kiesmotorsports.com. See you next video.